Hi, hello, and welcome. This is Bottom of the Barrel Morning Show here on Radio Free Brooklyn. This is your host, as always, coming to you from the Radio Free Brooklyn studio here in Bushwick, Brooklyn.
How is that possible that you just had to look?
I have to look every time. Because you know what it is I originally learned the name Free Radio Brooklyn.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, that's just what it is in my... You ever learn a name wrong, and it's that forever? You have to like...
It's like first impressions.
You have to do actual work to unlearn the wrong thing.
Of course.
And so I just use the reference of the banner in studio to make sure that I get it right every week. But I'm here coming. We're here coming to you from the heart of the Radio Free Brooklyn.
Still looking. Incredible.
The Radio Free Brooklyn studio here in the heart of Bushwick, Brooklyn. This is Bottom of the Barrel Morning Show. I'm here with my one and only marvelous. Quick-witted, inauspicious.
Wow, yeah.
Co-host Grant Moore.
Inauspicious.
I had some time to Google this morning.
Yeah.
You know what it means?
No. What? Give me a. I give you shit for not knowing words, but I know three. So.
It means. Yeah, it is. Boding, ill, amended, unfavorable. Yeah. Unfavorable. I usually go two positives and a negative. You know, we gotta make sure you gotta keep people in check.
I
Jay.
preferred it when you were insulting me with dumb words because at least I knew what you were saying.
Yeah. Now, don't worry. Next word. You know what's so funny is yes, it's a complicated word, but I did thesaurus bad. That's where I'm at.
That's how you got to get there.
I got the reference for it, so it's nothing that I did personally. But we're here excited to be joined with our guest, the one and the only Jay Elliot.
Jay Elliot, yay!
Okay, your mic. Can you talk closer to the mic? Your mic is officially. Can you just say something louder?
Hi.
Okay, yeah. Oh wait, you're on mic 4.
Now
that's
give
what
it a shot.
Now give it a shot.
Hello.
There we are in
Come
studio.
on.
Jay Elliot. That's me. That's me having been here for a year and a half, and still not able to run. I'm still looking at the wall.
These things take time.
And I'm still confused on which mic.
The Radio Free Brooklyn thing you maybe should have gotten right now because it's a free radio show that we do in Brooklyn. But the four buttons that you need to know.
Is it a Brooklyn free radio or is it a free radio Brooklyn or is it radio you see what I'm saying?
Well, no, because it's not Spanish. Like you put the adjectives before the subject.
Yeah,
but
the subject is...
It's like there's no radio. It's radio free.
Okay. I don't want to get into a fight right off the bat. But Jay, I'll tell you this right now. You're pissing me off.
You've crossed a line, Jay.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to have you in studio. Jay, you are a comedian from New York?
No, I'm actually from Maryland.
Oh, Baltimore?
Boonies.
Carroll
County.
Southern Maryland?
Northern by Pennsylvania border.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is that like really rural?
Yeah, it's all farms. It's like corn and soybeans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin, so it's a similar
Same
setup.
thing.
Yeah.
Dude, I drove to, okay, you've been to, what is it? Not Roanoke. What's out there? The national park in Virginia?
What the Williamsburg?
Williamsburg.
Yes, yeah.
No, not that. Do you know the national park out there?
No.
Shenandoah. That's what it's called.
Oh, from the song.
Which song?
The...
Oh,
yeah,
now
we're off to a hot fucking start today.
Don't he gets mad at me for it.
Don Denver, Shenandoah Mountains.
Yeah.
Country Roads.
Oh, really? It's in that song?
Yeah.
Well, I remember driving out there. I'm like, oh, it's in Virginia. It's going to be, like pretty cool. It's crazy how many Trump signs you saw for people that are driving, and it's like nobody's arguing with you here. Where we are, nobody's arguing Trump versus Biden.
Yeah, but
we know the answer.
You throw up an American flag in America.
That is true. I've been to a gas station where I saw 6 American flags.
Yeah,
and it's like, who is this for?
Us.
We were in Texas.
Yeah, Americans.
Yeah, but why say it? Just was the number. I literally had to count them to be like, and one was higher than the rest of them. What
is this commie?
That was
thing
that was the dad flag, and then the rest was the baby.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like those stickers that you put on the back of your stupid SUV. Yeah. What was it like growing up in Boonies, Maryland?
It was fine. I mean, I moved around. It was a military kid, so I did high school in the boonies, Maryland, and that was a change because I was used to like California, Massachusetts, where it was like relatively liberal. And then we moved to farms where it was like people were proud to be rednecks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like,
because it's fun.
yeah, they're like hillbilly princess on their Insta bio.
Yeah.
So it was intense. I do remember one time because I don't look it, but I'm half Mexican.
Yeah.
Oh.
And my
Get
little,
out.
Go back.
Yeah.
My little brother looks Mexican. I don't. And so I was never bullied, but when we moved there to Maryland, he did get bullied. I remember one girl on the bus apparently told him, when Trump gets elected, your family's going to have to move back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty common sentiment, right?
Yeah.
They're like, finally.
So whenever he was
move
bullied,
back to California.
Yeah.
whenever he was bullied, I had to bully him as well, just so they didn't associate me with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Separate yourself.
Like, who is this kid?
I was
That's
the
smart.
only one bullying him, actually. People were like, what is this, like,
You were
racist?
like, yeah, that was you who said that.
Yeah.
They're turning against minorities because of you, actually. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, dude, there's one Mexican guy.
I'm like
you bully
leading the
them.
mob riot. Yeah.
Hey, you got to survive.
You have
gotta
to
get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in Maryland.
You made it out right after high school?
Yep. I moved out right away, but I didn't go anywhere good. I just moved to Gainesville, Florida.
Oh, the Florida.
The Florida.
Why Gainesville?
My friend was going to UF, and I just wanted to like get out. I got an apartment, worked 2 jobs, and just like figured it out.
Figured it out for a while. And then
That's
you were
good
like,
for you.
Okay, I remember from some of your sets, you have family that live up here.
I do.
Yeah.
My uncle lives up here. Yeah.
Right? You live with your uncle.
No, I don't anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
I
okay.
moved out since I think he was getting a little sick of me crashing on his couch, which is totally understandable. So it's been a minute since I've been living there. I moved to Clinton Hill, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And then my roommate got hella schizophrenic.
Oh.
Yeah, she
Some
started
people
being
do
like,
that, yeah.
she took down like mirrors from the walls and was like, the radio waves are gonna bounce back, and they're like, the police are spying on us.
Oh no.
Yeah, which I didn't mind. I was like, we all have our things, but
right.
then she starts
Well,
like,
we all have our. What are you doing to her? That's fine. As long as you don't bother me in my room.
yeah. But once she starts like confronting people in the apartment about like talking shit behind her back, I was like, this is weird.
Were they talking shit behind her back?
No, but
They weren't there.
then immediately we did, of course, because she's accusing us like crazy. But I was like, I am now.
Yeah.
You said that, but no, it was unwarranted. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I love doing something crazy and be like, "Are you guys talking shit about my?" It's like,
Yeah.
it's like that's the normal response to what It's like it feels like they're like doing something to make you talk shit.
Yeah.
And be like, are you talking shit? And then they get mad about that. It's like,
Yeah.
what are we supposed to ignore? What's going on? You're putting up sheet panel in our apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you know that she had this condition before you moved in?
Not at all. I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, when I met her, she seemed a little bit off, but it was more like just I figured she like does weed or something.
Does weed? Which
Yeah.
do you? After saying something like,
Do
"Are you
I
a
do
cop?"
weed?
Yeah.
I don't really do a lot of drugs anymore.
Oh, okay. Good.
but-
Sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to OD. You have to like minorly OD to stop.
You have to. One time I had an experience on ketamine where it felt like I turned into binary code and uploaded to the Matrix and was like flying through different digital dimensions. I thought to myself, remember being human? I wish I could go back. That was a crazy moment.
Yeah.
To come
You could,
back
like,
from
see
that, I
the
was like,
code.
all right, I think
Yeah, you were Neo essentially in the Matrix.
I did see
That's
that.
actually
It
pretty.
looked like it.
I might go back. I might re-up if that's the case.
That sounds sick.
Because now you're aware of who you are. That's what happened to Neo,
Yeah.
and then he got to control it.
That's I took a little too much ketamine during a sexual encounter one time, and I just kept saying, "I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea." And the lady was like, "You have to stop saying that."
Yeah, one time I was on shrooms and I decided that was a good time to like do a random hookup. And then I just kept telling the guy, I'm sorry, I'm being weird. And he was like, you're not. Kind of like that, the girl who was like, you're talking about me. Like, then it got weird.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's usually the case.
Yeah.
That's what like weed and I guess, sometimes mushrooms will do. Like, it will make the problem that you're worried about by you trying to avoid the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, mushrooms, it you can't push anything down. It comes right back up.
Yeah. Which I guess is why they use it for like therapeutic purposes, right? Is you have to address these things.
Confront your
but
demons.
so few people have like the psychological tools to face things that they just end up fucking freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
I guess that's what a bad trip is.
Yeah. One time, I mean, that same time I left his apartment, I was like, I have to go. And then I immediately got on the subway on mushrooms.
Yeah, I've done that. It's scary.
It's horrible.
But it's also like a little bit like, ooh, what am I doing? I'm a naughty boy. Yeah.
One time I did it with friends on the subway, which was fun. We were like, we've been on this train forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes, the time is different.
Yeah, you stop. You made like 3 stops.
Yeah.
I've been on here for eternity.
Yeah.
I remember us looking at each other like, we're on drugs, just like openly. And
one time I was
yelling.
I was really high and I was just taking the train from Brooklyn to Manhattan and I was like, I'm underwater.
What?
Like I just couldn't believe how crazy it was that I was underwater on a train.
Yeah, because it is crazy, but it's just
insane.
such a stone thing to like all the information that you use to justify that situation that probably shouldn't be happening of like normal metropolitan existence. It comes back and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And I was like, we've been under here for a while.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes you go under and you're like, and they start like gunning it and you're like, good.
Yeah.
I'm really happy they're going super fast right now.
I always think of what would happen if the train like broke down. You have to like walk the fucking 2 mile or whatever it is mile.
Underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that on the car one a lot.
I always try and see like count which way, like how far I am.
Mm-hmm.
So if it floods and I need to swim, I know which way is longer.
I do that
You're
too.
thinking about swimming, dude?
Yeah.
I'm imagining
like how long do I hold my breath?
Jay's immediately drowning.
I'm out.
Right.
I guess I think like, oh, the water pressure. I don't know how deep it is, but it's not like an ocean.
Yeah.
No, but okay, so it floods, right, in this hypothetical.
Yeah.
And it's from some crack somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I imagine.
But you're not going to be able to get out and go up. Is that what you're thinking? Like I think I'm going to have to go through the tunnels into the next station.
I think that's very optimistic.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I imagine that happening, it's more of like a cave collapse, like immediate crush.
Immediate death.
Yeah.
There's also that thing where it's like,
I don't like that.
isn't it like if you're more than 12 feet underwater, you have to like slowly come up? Otherwise, your like blood will like get bubbles in it.
Yeah, that's also you can get the bends or your lungs can explode, but that's from having compressed air circulating from a scuba tank.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens from at certain depths. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I know that happens from having like the compressed air in a scuba tank.
There's a lot of things to think about as you ride the L train.
As do you, the normal like final destination preparedness.
Yeah. I do that more often than I should. I do that. You know what else I do a weird imagination scenarios in is like after I watch Ocean's 11, the next store I'm going into, I'm like, I could rob this place.
Yeah, how do I rob this CBD apothecary?
I immediately am like, I think I could. I think we could smash and grab this place pretty easy.
Well, we grew up with so many like movies all the time and terrorism. So I always am like, who am I going to have like a boss battle with on this plane, train, or bus?
Yeah, definitely scoping out the scariest person, dude. I've been
a lot of profiling. If we're being honest, a lot of profiling,
dude. I remember like, have you ever seen? I don't know if you guys have had this happen. Someone stare at you so like long.
Yeah.
Like as you're walking by them, it's like, okay, they're looking at me from a normal distance. People glance at each other. That's normal.
Yeah.
You glance away. They're still looking at you. You can feel it. And then like as you're passing, you look at them and you see them like following you with the side eye.
Oh, shoot.
Like what that's a full lock
Is it a girl or boy?
Boy. It was a guy. I will always remember.
That's a hot girl's experience that you just got.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. If they're looking at you like that, they probably wanted it.
You think they wanted to fuck? I think they were profiling me. It was at the airport, so I just assumed it was like a terrorist thing.
If it's in the airport.
Yeah.
I'm surprised more hot, like thick Latinas don't have schizophrenia, because you would hit, everybody's always looking at you.
Yeah.
You think everybody's hunting
They're
you.
watching.
Yeah. Well, that's another, you think of why women are scared walking outside.
Yeah.
It's probably because everyone's staring at them.
All the time.
Yeah.
I don't envy that experience at all.
Not at all.
It always is just like,
Dude,
I've
you
had
want
it.
You want to?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing is you've had
you had it. You had it, and have you done it to people?
I'm sure I have on accident. If someone's hot, you're gonna look.
This is true.
They're so fun to stare at. It's so creepy, but it's
until I remember. I hate myself. Stop. Whatever.
Yeah. But there's always a period where being a person takes a little bit to get past being an animal.
Yeah, you got to catch up.
Yeah. There's like a 3-second delay on like swear words.
So you're like an immediate, like you're saying that first you feel the animal thing.
Your
and then
immediate thing is like carnal.
Yeah.
It's like run, run, fight, fuck. Those are the things.
Yeah.
And you have to go like, other living person who has these feelings as well. Yeah. About a 3-second delay.
Empathy.
We live in a society.
Shut up.
To step outside of oneself.
Yeah.
No, I've definitely, that was an interesting thing because for
you want to give the background?
Yeah, I am transgender. I don't look like it because I'm lazy, but no,
it's a lot of work.
That's a joke. It is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's so much work. And even because I feel like it's maybe not as much work for me to look feminine sometimes, which is nice, but I'm still a grown man, so it takes some effort,
right?
Which is just like exhausting after a long time. I'm sure. It's women feel the weight of expectations on women.
Yeah.
Let alone if you're a grown man trying to shoulder that as well. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. So like what are those TikTok videos like come get ready with me? You could only do yours on YouTube.
Yeah, I would have to, it would be a lot of cuts that didn't like that like it would be jumping a lot of steps.
A lot of jumps, a lot of steps.
People would be, wait, what happened between these two frames?
Yeah, like if you're going to go out, how long is that? Or if you're going to go out as, forgive me if my verbiage is not fantastic, but if you're going to go out as a woman, what is that like build up like?
It's usually a few hours. It's like
few hours.
Yeah, I would say 2 because I take my time.
Yeah,
I would say 2 hours.
Damn, dude, I could never.
If I shower, because I have to shower first.
Yeah, got to shower.
Then makeup and hair.
Yeah, makeup. I mean, it takes my fiance like an hour.
Just do makeup?
Yeah, because, dude, I was watching her do it the other day. She puts on like 4 different layers. Like, I swear to God, she puts on a layer and then like a color and then the same color that she put on the first time. I'm like,
She sounds like she's doing drywalling.
Exactly.
This is my exact same experience with doing drywall.
Well, you have the primer and then you have, that's real.
That's
you have
to mix the mud. Yeah.
You got to like get the color swatches out, make sure you have the right color. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
The full hour. Okay, so when you have been stared at, what is your response? Are you like, fuck are you looking at? Or are you like, oh yeah, thanks?
At first I didn't know why people were looking. I thought it was, there's a tranny. I'm going to like, what the fuck? I thought people were just weirded out that I like the novelty of like a man dressing like a woman. But then after a while, I'm sure it's that, but I like noticed certain gays or like people smile and like guys, it's usually guys. Guys would smile and I'd never had that before, dude. Like walking on the street, someone making eye contact with you, you immediately look away.
Yeah.
And then if they sustain it, smiling, that never happened before. So I was like, oh, maybe something else is going on too.
Yeah. And then you're like, after a while, a couple smiles, like, oh, maybe a little sexy.
It is kind of a confidence boost. I mean, but then it gets you confused because like I've had my hair look weird or whatever, and I'm like, killing it, when people look, but you just like have something on your shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
You actually just have something on your face.
It's always very hard to be like, am I confident or delusional? Yeah, that's funny.
Dude, I think that starts to happen more the more the weather gets nicer. The more people are out and the more people are like glancing back, and I'm just like,
it's more skin showing.
Yeah. I'm like, is everyone horned up right now? Is that what we're all doing here? Or am I just being, I don't know, crazy?
Always column A and column B. Yeah.
Dude, I think I got my first, I don't know if I might have told you this. My fiance got catcalled while we were together.
Wow.
Did I tell you this?
No.
That is wild.
It was wild.
Did you fight
I was
him?
just trying to compliment
Dude,
her.
okay, so this is what I did, and this is the move. This is top key secret.
Okay, gun.
We were walking from West 4th over to grab some food or whatever, and we're like kind of right where the Village Underground is, across the street. And me and my fiance are walking together, and some guy's like, "Oh, somebody looks nice," like kind of to us.
And you said thank you,
and I go thank you, like he was saying it to me. And he goes, "You know who I'm talking about?" And we like kept walking.
Oh my God,
and I just
doubled down.
And I just like pointed to myself and I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Haha, all right." I was just like, I think that's a way. He goes, "That's how you do it." And I was just like, and we just didn't break stride.
Yeah, you can't. It's like anytime someone talks shit, you got to just keep moving.
But I was just like,
there's no point.
It was just
and
so
there's
funny.
a lot of crazies over there.
And it was just so funny,
especially in that area. Yeah.
Just somehow he was like hitting on my fiance, but just pretending like he was hitting on me. First of all, it was cracking her up, which is great. And then he was like, shit, I don't know what to do. And then by the time he like had anything to do, we were already past him.
Yeah. That's so much healthier than, what the fuck did you just say? I'll fucking kill you.
I've been waiting for an excuse.
Yeah. Well, everybody is. Everybody is. Were you ever, I assume you were catcalled.
Yeah. I mean, I've been followed down the street.
Yeah.
Too,
really?
Which is scary. Like once you start going, like experiencing that, you see why ladies talk about being scared to walk outside, because when before I transitioned, I didn't get it. I thought it was maybe because they're short or whatever, but I like didn't really like
they're short, or
I just thought I don't know if it's sexist.
Like
I thought like estrogen makes people scared or something.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like it's probably fine, but then like once I was in it, even just people watching you is weird.
Yeah.
Like it feels, I usually say like a haunted house, like the eyes follow, and it's like that. It's like that 24/7. That's weird.
Yeah. Anytime it's nighttime, it just the entire city becomes a haunted house.
Everyone's spooky.
Yeah, everyone's spooky. So
that's so horrible.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
because
to get it from, I mean, I guess there's an element of, because you haven't presented this way your entire life, you don't have like the full life buildup, and so it's new to you in a way where you're actually like conscious of it. Because like I assume there's with people who are women their whole life.
That's fine.
Yeah, there's gonna be
I don't worry about.
There's gonna be trip ups. I promise you.
Don't worry about it.
But with like biological women, they almost acclimate to it. Whereas you're coming into this experience
as a third party kind of.
Exactly. Yeah, and you have the experience before as a man of not even thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably the most fun part of being trans, is to be able to like kind of zoom out on things that people don't think about during regular life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how much does that influence your comedy?
A lot. I mean, it's certainly on my mind a lot, or at least it was, especially at first. So there was just so much fodder.
Yeah.
To like talk about these like things that people like. I feel like good comedy takes things that people see every day, and it shows a new way to think about it. And I just like accidentally had a lot of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I ask, if you were being followed by someone and you think you could take them, what's that? Is that different?
If I could take them,
what you were saying about like I've been waiting for this. This sounds crazy, but I've been thinking like if somebody tried to punch me in the back of the head, just being like, we're fighting, dude. I think I had too much built up aggression to be like, no, dude,
same.
Yeah.
I would go for it. I mean, it would be funny because
it'd be funny to watch.
I feel like they think I'm like a helpless woman, and then I like rip my shirt off and just like beat them up. That would definitely not happen. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna fight.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know, dude. I've just been seeing way too many. I mean, like it happened to a friend of ours, right? That whole like getting punched in the back of the head or whatever.
Yeah.
That's actually my second friend that it's happened to. It
That's
happened
such
to
a weird
one of my
way
guy
to
friends.
hurt someone. Just punch in the back.
It's just
of
a
the head?
coward's.
Yeah.
It's just a coward's way to do something.
That sucks so bad.
Yeah.
And plus in this city, it's like, even if you're not wearing like headphones, you there's always people behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing about the haunted mansion thing that you're talking about. There's always just, you're surrounded by creepy potential people behind you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I've like started to be like, okay, this guy's creepy, not dangerous.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, cool, I'll sit next to this person on the train. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But now it's like you hear, I don't know, did you hear a bunch of stories and it's just like, fuck. I'm usually not an on-edge person, but like lately I've been a little more, I think.
Things tick up. But it's also like, I think men's experience of that side of life is always if they observe it or they get drawn into it. Like I've been in situations on the subway where women will come to me and be like, oh, this guy is, they'll start talking to me. I'm like, why is this woman talking to me on the subway?
Yeah.
It's never, I'll think they're hitting on me. And it's like, no, they're just picking someone to jump in
Your
front of.
safe base tag.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like tag, but the safe base is the one getting stabbed. Really, they're not hitting on me. They're doing the polar opposite.
They're deflecting onto
I'm
you.
becoming a human shield.
Yeah.
So,
like, you look nice enough to die for me.
yeah,
So-
exactly. This guy will get like murdered for me. He
Yeah.
seems nice. But yeah. And so, I mean, what other like examples of that have you experienced?
Like creepiness?
No, just like, oh, this is this massive paradigm shift of like a daily thing of what the other side lives like.
What was really interesting to me was the way that people respond to you once, like their expectations of you changes. So like for when I'm a guy, they want me to act like a guy. So like the more masculine, the better. But when you're a girl, it's obviously the opposite. So things that I had like kind of like, don't do that, that's like gay or whatever.
Yeah.
That people wanted that out of me now. So like acting like, you know,
When you say
girly.
people, do you mean like friends, family, or
strangers?
Strangers.
Yeah, anyone. Like the social norms, they just want you to like go in whatever lane that you look like you should be in.
Yeah.
So if I'm dressed like a girl, I'm like free to act girlier, and it's almost like now I feel bad because some of me is masculine, it turns out, and now I feel pressure to not do that. So it's like, damn, like nobody wins.
And did switching like kind of highlight that? Like whenever you started presenting as a woman, you started to highlight like, oh, I do have this other side of me that was more.
Yeah,
masculine.
I mean, like my voice is not very like high or whatever, and I would, if especially talking to, because you don't know people, and if you're like you don't know how they feel about that,
Right.
So I would find myself like, hi, you know, like trying to blend in, but yeah, it's annoying and it's a lot of work. Even just the makeup, it wasn't just like, oh, I want to look hot going to the club or whatever. It was, if I don't look passably feminine, like as a grown male, like I might get, you know, hurt because of it.
Yeah. It's almost like it's like a secret. And if people find out,
then you don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's scary.
Yeah.
That's haunted house shit.
Yeah.
That's haunted house.
Haunted house
That's
Manhattan.
spooky.
That's so spooky.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, yeah, just like the more, like, don't go to this part of the haunted house. They're really scary over there.
Oh yeah. You mean the southern part of
like
the
Hell's
haunted house?
Kitchen is like the safe haven of
Yeah.
the haunted house. That's the entrance. And then you go to like, I don't know, Inwood, and it's like, yeah, dude, be careful out here.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that's very interesting is like people so desperately want to make sense of things.
Yeah.
And so anything that deviates from their expectations causes agitation.
Yeah.
And it's so basic to where it's like, you know, everyone deviates outside of their whatever their category they're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's almost more pressure in your situation. Or you're just thinking about it more.
Maybe more conscious of it.
Okay.
But I mean, everyone's conscious of it. You might just think it's more normalized. Like, because, guys are afraid of doing feminine stuff because they seem gay.
Yeah.
And then girls think if they're too masculine, they won't get a man. So like everybody feels it.
Yeah.
But like it is cool to, I guess, to sometimes it sucks, but it's cool to see like what's going on, because like to have to flip it, it's like such a shift that you have to be really like, you're like, oh, like you didn't think about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can only imagine, but it's like you get in, you get to do like some insider stuff.
Yeah. Well, recently I went to a funeral, and it was a family funeral. People knew that I was trans, but they like, even with family, sometimes you're like, I don't know how people take it, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was also gonna sing, for the funeral. So I don't have a woman voice. So it would look really weird for me to be in like, a Wednesday Addams dress with
then come out in baritone
singing like Pavarotti like opera, right?
Yeah.
Like that's weird. And this was my grandfather, and I was like, I don't want to distract anyone from the point of the funeral is to like think like honor him, right? So I went as a man, and I had long hair, but whatever. I just like put it back and looked like Fabio.
Of course.
But like no, I looked like Paul Revere.
Okay.
But
Fabio, you're jacked also.
Fabio, and then I took my hair out dramatically. On a horse.
You just couldn't help yourself.
But yeah, I think that it's interesting when you can kind of like decide, because a lot of trans people, it's like, it seems very life or death sometimes, for not to like detract from, everyone has their journey, but I definitely am a bit more just like, okay, well, if this is more appropriate here, I'll do this, if I'm feeling whatever, like it's more like adaptable.
Right.
Yeah.
You like, you're saying like everybody has their own journey. Is that like, do you hang out with other people who have like the other people that are like trans comedians, and do you guys like compare notes?
I
like
think
when you guys write, do you guys write together and stuff, or is that just like you guys are just like, nah, whatever?
There isn't like a Facebook group for trans comedians. I mean, I don't.
That cannot be true.
There probably is. There probably is. Yeah, that's probably right. I know some. Again, there's not a lot, especially in Manhattan.
Yeah,
I feel like Brooklyn is like the place for it. But I've met a few. I've never really been like big, even when I was like a gay man.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know, whatever. But I wasn't super big into the scene.
Yeah.
So I've just never really been like involved.
Yeah, kind of doing your own
the
thing.
Community aspect of it. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it would. Recently, I've been thinking that it would be nice though.
Yeah.
To kind of
having some community rather than two comedians just interviewing you about it.
Interrogating you.
Yeah.
One other thing I remember from you doing comedy, at least early on, was you used to work for an OnlyFans model.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Is that right? And
this is like going way back.
Like you took the pictures?
I did not. I catfished people pretending to be her. Because you know how they
getting to the ethics part of the part of the interview.
Yeah. Because OnlyFans models, of course, like they're doing, photo shoots and videos and stuff.
Which you can't step in for.
No.
But you can.
But I have actually once.
Oh, for real?
One time I was because my job was to masquerade as her for guys who were DMing her on OnlyFans. And then I would be like, hey, and pretend to be her.
In her voice.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on, handsome? That kind of thing. And then get them to buy. I'd be like, oh, I'm just laying in bed. do you want to see? And then they would buy the pictures.
Oh my God, I'm just laying in bed for $5.99.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you would have the pictures loaded up, and then
Yeah.
damn. So you're like they're outsourcing that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
turns out these OnlyFans models are in it for the money.
there's like a floor of a skyscraper in India just full of people talking,
It's
texting.
It's a whole business.
Yeah.
It's insane.
There's a
I've been
staff.
trying to do a bit on it, but it's just the sheer amount of money that is involved in that area. I mean, it's good because it used to be like if you're doing porn, which I don't know what their sensitivity of is calling it that, but the money was not going to the actresses and actors that much. Right?
That's the nice thing. Yeah.
And now it's going, I mean, OnlyFans takes 20% and then you have taxes, but they're making all of that money on their own.
Yeah.
And so like it's
Well,
all
there
they do have a manager.
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she had a manager. So OnlyFans took a cut, and then, well, unless they paid, we would push like PayPal or whatever. Where it wouldn't go
on the
through
side.
OnlyFans. Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that
so
would
you
be
can-
kind of like a little shady.
Uh-huh.
But
But everybody does that. Apple tries to do it within app purchases too, and companies will find their ways around it
Uh-huh.
because they're
Yeah.
it's smart.
Exactly.
Yeah, fuck them. Good.
but she also had a manager who I mean, not to be disrespectful, but I was like, that's her pimp. Like, that's just what I thought.
Yeah.
And what did the manager do?
He kind of managed her like social media, her image, I guess,
Such a funny-
and coordinated like video shoots
Yeah.
with.
So he
other-
was kind of running it. She was like, nah, I don't want to say that. I was going to be like, she was like the product. He was like running.
But she is.
But that's kind of
it,
what it
You
sounds
are.
like.
You
yeah.
are the product. I mean,
very literally. Yeah.
So-
in comedy, we're the product,
Yeah.
right? So it's a similar thing. It's just when you
Yeah.
involve bodies, it gets a little
Yeah,
bit.
and like sex. And
But at
stuff.
least pimping has gotten better.
Yeah, it seemed like it. It seemed like
You know.
she was pretty satisfied with it. Yeah.
Do you think like if it wouldn't have been her, that manager would have found someone else, or was it like her idea and she was kind of running the show?
I think he would have found someone else.
Okay.
I don't know exactly his relationship with her,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that he was in some of her videos, like as an actor himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess he just had experience in the industry, kind of.
Yeah. The industry.
But I actually once was messaging a guy who really liked feet. Okay. So what the weird part of it was, I had a limited amount of pictures and videos to work with. So I would have to kind of like really recycle stuff. Sometimes I would sell the same person the same picture on a different day.
Yeah.
Would they notice, or they would be fucking pissed?
You sent this picture of your feet. It's like, dude, they're the same feet.
Yeah.
I didn't have that, but I think there were a few people who did what I did, and that happened before, and people
That's
got
what's
mad.
crazy is they have a staff.
Yeah.
So
that's
there's like
insane.
what, 4 or 5 of you,
Yeah.
plus a manager, plus I don't know, maybe some other positions, a photographer at a minimum,
Yeah.
video editor.
It is a lot of money, like you said.
It's an industry.
Yeah.
Do you know? Are you allowed to say this person's name?
I don't
Careful
know
on
if
that
I
one.
should.
Yeah. Let's not.
Especially if
I
you're
don't know
calling
if I
their
should.
manager a
I don't want to
pimp.
get anyone in trouble.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
that's fair.
so this guy was asking for feet. Guy, I assume it has to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
It's
Very
all,
rarely a woman.
All men.
There was a woman. once.
Really?
Like a few times there was a woman. I think it was more of like a lesbian
represent.
situation. I mean, clearly.
yeah,
Yeah.
the woman was in his. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did the math on that one, Jay.
Or however she, you
Yeah,
know, who
of
knows? Maybe she was bi. But yeah, it would be a woman sometimes, which was interesting. You would have to do a little bit more like creative writing for the woman. It was like
Yeah.
you would really have to like dig deep into like the 5 senses description, everything.
Yeah.
Even on OnlyFans, it's still more work.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it
You'd
was
have
rough.
to be like, your messages find me with such warmth or something. Meanwhile, with the guys, you're like, here's a picture of my fucking feet. You
Where the
loser."
guys-
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, fuck, like thinking back to like English literature in high school, but AP Lit,
Yeah.
AP Clit. Am I
AP
right?
Clit. Come on, let's
But
go.
Jay Elliot
Thank
in the
you.
building, people.
thank you. But for the guys, it was just pictures, and I had a limited amount, like a supply. So there was that one guy who liked feet, I ran out of feet pictures. And so I just like took a photo of my foot.
Yeah.
And it did not look like her foot at all. And I like blew it out with filters, and then like with the paint like edit tool on my phone, just like painted the nails pink.
Oh my God.
And it was just such crap. But
like Snapchat.
Yeah. It was so
Coloring.
bad.
That's so
It was so bad. And he came.
Wow. Yeah, well, of course. It doesn't take much.
It doesn't take much.
He was coming. You could have sent a picture of a man's penis and he would have came at that
You
point.
send that to the lady, sniffed out immediately, I bet. You try and do double sends with the lady client. No way.
For a second, I thought you were going to send that photo and he was going to like Venmo request his money back. Like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, there were no refunds. There were no refunds.
Yeah.
Just envisioning the paint over on Snapchat that's like so blatant.
Yeah.
It's like there's like there's like, you know, gaps in the paint because he's just like scratching back and forth.
You go over and it just looks like there's no change in texture. That's awesome. How do you even get a job like that?
Craigslist.
Oh, for
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
I forget about the entirely different world of Craigslist.
Yeah.
I mean, I've sold and bought some crazy shit on Craigslist, but I forget that it exists until I need it again.
Yeah, the housing. I think they took off the personals, but they still have the jobs and everything.
That's like dark web light Craigslist.
Yeah,
it's like you're not quite Tor browser, but you're getting there.
Like you could insinuate something crazy, but you can't say it.
Yeah.
Like what did this job description say?
It was pretty clear.
Pretty clear.
It was like writer for OnlyFans model.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Writer.
Yeah, writer.
You have a writing credit.
I have a writing credit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Earlier when I asked who it wasn't, I don't care who it is. I guess I was trying to understand the level at which, like how many subscribers roughly are we talking? Like how many people are you DMing back and forth?
I don't remember.
Like
I've tried
thousands
to
or like
it was thousands.
tens of thousands or like hundreds of thousands?
I think it was like around 10,000.
Wow. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's $5.99,
that's what I'm saying.
that's a month.
That's
right?
a month,
So it's
yeah.
$50,000, $60,000 a month.
Which is why you can hire people.
And I think it was more than that.
Yeah.
Did you
think it was
see
like
any men on there? And I would love to have an OnlyFans, but all I do is like hang out. Is that a thing?
Okay, you would like
Is
to
there-
have a successful podcast.
I would like to have a successful podcast where I don't talk.
Yeah.
I just
okay.
like watch TV and they watch me watching TV.
ASMR.
ASMR. Is that a OnlyFans lane? ASMR?
I'm sure anything is.
Damn.
I know there's a lot of like really weird, kinks or
Yeah.
there's also a bunch of people on OnlyFans who don't show any nudity.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the top like earners was like Tyga.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But I think
he's
he
making,
fucked on it.
He fucked on it?
I think so, yeah.
I tried to find out if he did. I couldn't find anything. I was research for a bit. I was researching for a bit. But like him and then like Iggy Azalea, I don't think they're fucking.
I don't know if Iggy is, but I'm pretty sure Tyga is.
A lot of celebrities do it where they're like, "Ooh, I'm on OnlyFans," and then people subscribe just to see, and then
it's just like
it's them doing maybe suggestive things.
Yeah, but it's basically the same thing that they would put on their Instagram stories,
or like on a Vogue cover.
Yeah,
or maybe a little bit more like risque, but that's it.
$9 million a month
for Tyga.
Yeah,
that's crazy
for a guy. That's what also pissed me off is I thought this was like a grassroots, salt of the earth sluts making money. Yeah. But no.
It makes everything makes the rich
Everything makes the rich richer, yeah.
Get in the studio, dude.
Me?
Tyga.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Yeah, whip it out.
He doesn't need to be in the studio anymore, which is why he's not.
Oh, that studio. I misunderstood.
Like, where's the dong?
Did it make you consider it? Where did you like see all that money flowing in where you're like, oh, I should get in on this?
I had it as like a last resort.
Yeah, it's a ripcord.
Yeah, it's like, I guess any woman in the back of her mind is like, if pushed hard enough, I might be a hooker.
Yeah.
Like, and especially a trans person. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it feels like you're such like a dark creature. Like
you're
an
like, orc.
Yeah, you're like, damn, well, what are my options? Because I don't really see a lot of, professionalism here.
Right.
So a lot of trans girls are on like OnlyFans and stuff. Or, or just like hooking.
Yeah. Well, because there's that strange thing where like anything that is hyper novel becomes hypersexualized. Like it becomes a kink, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, like you anything specific enough, the specificity, if you find your niche in that, it's such a specific thing that people will like flock to it who are into it. Like furries.
Especially if it looks like a woman.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure if it was like, you know, back in civil rights or whatever, you know, black women were probably fetishized.
Right.
Or like yellow fever, whatever. So it's just like the new version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's but I mean there's definitely it's on the rise of like trending things on like Pornhub.
Trans porn?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's always like one of the top.
Yeah.
But it's also I'm talked to a lot of guys, you know, who offered me money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And a lot of guys who had never, even guys I've dated, had never been with a trans person before. It was all just women.
Yeah.
And was that something like that they were like very forward about?
What?
Like, oh, I've never been with a trans woman before. This is me like taking a step into something that I've never done before? Or you just found out later? Like it wasn't a big deal?
I would ask.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, what's going on here? Are you just, you know, like curious, horny, whatever? Like, because there were guys who, a lot of guys who were visiting off some kind of summer break or whatever, who were like, ooh, I want to try something crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And get with a trans girl and really have like a experience.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't want to just do that.
Yeah.
You know? I don't want to be someone's. I've told this one guy who was asking me not just that, to like show him to gay clubs and really like introduce him to the queer world, whatever.
Yeah,
and
like
I was like,
tour guide.
I'm not your tour guide to like the LGBT community.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's also like that's not something that, you know, you shouldn't just attach to someone and be like, hey, you know what? You show me around. It's like if you want to join a community, like you have to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's like those guys or girls, maybe if you're on like Tinder or Hinge and they're like, I'm visiting, you want to show me around New York?
Yeah.
And you're just like, if you pay me, I guess maybe, but like I'm not here to like show you the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting analogy because that's happened to me before and it's aggravating.
Yeah.
Of like, yeah, hey, I'm a person.
Yeah.
And especially when they bury the lead and they don't say like, oh, I'm just visiting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here to like find someone to be with.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a guide.
You're here to find a tour guide. I'm here to find someone like a partner.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus Christ, you know, like there's no care for the other what the other person's looking for. It's just like, I need somebody to show me around town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And and you're like, wait, so you're basically paying me through sex to show you around?
Yeah.
That's the other thing is there's an expectation. Like that's why a guy would do it.
Yeah.
Is the expectation is, well, you know, I'll show her around and then
maybe we'll have sex.
And I'm like, well, honey, you're not all that. You know, like if I'm going to need some other kind of compensation.
Yeah. Plus that's what you want to do to New York. Yeah. Oh, what'd you do in New York? I fucked a guy.
Yeah. I made some guy show me around town and then I blew him so he wouldn't complain about it.
Oh, did you see the trade center? I was like, yeah, but mostly I went to a bar and I had sex with a guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's other stuff
just
to do
some
here.
shitty bar in Bushwick that he likes. That it's not even really what I like.
I'm not going to show you cool places.
Yeah, we're going to the Grizzly Pear.
Right,
yeah,
exactly. Although that is a very unique New York experience.
The pear?
Yeah, I love the pear.
It's a great it's a great fit in between something that is very iconic New York, which is like comedy in New York City.
Yeah.
Comedy,
and then just
bar.
like, but it's not the most famous place, but it is like if you're in the comedy scene, you know, the Grizzly Pear.
Yeah.
So
you're
it's
like these are real comedians. And
Yeah.
it's just like the worst open mic you've ever been to.
Do you work the pear a lot? Because I feel like
do,
I've seen you barking there.
I host a lot of mics there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Which ones?
I'm there
today.
Oh, nice.
2 to 3 or whatever, 2 to 4.
Yeah. And Monday 4:30 and 6, and then Thursday 4:30 and 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. How much callous do you have over your heart and soul after hosting multiple mics at the Grizzly Pear?
You know, I honestly thought it would be worse because when I was doing open mics and not hosting, you know, when someone else is on stage and you're waiting your turn, it feels like your whole body's on fire. But if you're hosting, you know, you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
You're like timing someone. You're like thinking about who's next. So, and then it's also like, oh, it feels good to be like, you know, I feel like I'm kind of supporting comics in a way.
Okay, so you're a good mic host.
Yeah, you're a good person.
I try.
But a lot of the times at the Pear, and then a lot of mics.
Yeah.
The host is not giving a shit.
It's not even that. It's I think that the Pear room is set up in a way to where it's easy for people to leave without feeling bad.
Yeah.
And it's also a very big room.
Yeah.
Which are two things that work against a mic.
Right.
Because it's like, yeah, there's 20 people in here. We're all going to slip out one by one. Nobody's even going to see us.
The second we do our set.
And then it's also like a large room. So it's like the silence is just even more deafening than it is.
Yeah, but I kind of like that it's bigger because like compared to the Comedy Shop, which is smaller.
Which is your direct rival for open mics.
You're like, yeah, I don't do the comedy. But it's so much smaller that you're like looking people in the eyes while you're on stage. And that, I feel like you have to do more crowd work to make it kind of feel natural in that case. Because like if you're just going straight into material, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter how... It can be really good, but
in a small space like that, it just feels so wooden.
Yeah. And when you look people in the eyes, it kind of feels like you're hijacking them. Like I always feel like I'm holding people hostage, especially when they're my friends and I'm like catching eye contact with them and staring at them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not talking to them and they're like right there, it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is something to be said about just like staring off into the darkness of the Pear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get what you get.
Yeah. I like the Pear for the fact that if I get a laugh there, it's like, okay, that's something.
You're like, okay, that was racist.
It's hard.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's hard mode.
When I was just like, you know, starting out here and I finally did the industry room and then got a few spots, that first real show off of my like audition thing was, you know, random people. I'd never done a show like that where it was just like people at dinner who wanted to see some comedy, like random civilians. And as someone who was like raised by like back in the cellar to 77 like the late night cellar 77 mics, Grizzly Pear mics, really bad Comedy Shop mics, I went straight into incest, I think.
Yeah,
and then
nice.
I transitioned to rape jokes.
Nice.
Yeah.
The only plausible transition.
Oh, so you used to kill at the Pear.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, why isn't this working?
Why isn't this working while this person eats eggs?
Yeah.
Why don't these nice human beings like my incest rape jokes?
Just like gentle people
Yeah.
looking pleasantly up at me as I say like the most vile,
Yeah.
horrible things.
They want to hear observations about coffee.
Yeah. So I would open mics. It's not always a good gauge of what's good.
No.
Yeah, I think, but a lot of people say that, and I think there's part of that falls on the performer to be like, okay, recognize I'm not amongst normal people right now, so like
it's a rite of passage. I guess.
Yeah. I guess it's a common thing where you're like, oh, this was funny at an open mic, and it's like, yeah, because you're around lunatics.
Yeah,
you're around people who try to do funny all the time to the point where it takes something either really ridiculous or really sharp to make it work.
Yeah.
And really ridiculous is easier than really sharp.
Not a lot shocks them.
Yeah.
So it has to be like either super profound, which never happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or,
that never happens.
Or it has to be like horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a change of pace, but did you end up watching the Attell special?
No, I got someone's Netflix
Okay.
I got someone's Netflix password. I'm going to try and do it tonight.
Okay. I watched it last night. Great.
Really?
Solid all the way through. It's just one of those things where it's like you have to pay attention the whole time because there's a joke coming every 5 seconds.
There's no dead air with him.
Yeah. It's very good.
Skanks for the Memories, I listen to once a year.
Yeah.
Did you watch the special?
I didn't. I didn't realize it was on Netflix, so now I want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The ending though, can I tell the ending?
No.
Okay.
Can I just spoil the whole thing?
I'm gonna watch it tonight. Oh, okay. Can I ruin it for you today? Yeah, no.
But yeah, I don't know. That's good. How have you been doing lately in comedy? Are you working on anything you're excited about?
No.
Good. That's what we like to hear.
Appreciate the honesty.
That's what we like to hear here. It makes me feel better because I've been like in a huge rut lately where I'm like trying different things to get me out of it. Like I tried like sitting down and just like writing only for a week, and that didn't work. I didn't write anything funny. So then it's like, okay, maybe I just need to like get up a lot or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just been like ebbs and flows of like struggling with comedy.
Yeah, I used to my vibe with comedy has definitely changed, which I think is good in some ways and bad in others. Because before I used to write all the time, and whenever I sat down and put a pen to paper, it was never anything funny. Like it was only random thoughts that I was like, oh, that's funny, and then I write it down.
Yeah,
but not like I'm going to write jokes now. Like that never amounted to anything for me. But I think maybe it helps get the juices flowing.
Yeah.
So when like during normal life, you have more instances where maybe you're in that space to receive that. But I don't know. It just like I remember over COVID, I was writing the whole time during quarantine, which felt insane because I felt like just like one of those old men locked away in a tower, writing, and nobody knows.
Like a lighthouse attendant.
Yeah. I was like rewriting the same joke to oblivion, not knowing anything
of why you would change it.
Was it funny ever? Like I just like rewrote it a million times and was like, I don't know. But yeah, any of my a very, very, very few of those jokes that I sat down to write really ever worked. It was only like the organic stuff. And then now I've been going up on stage with nothing because I host so many mics that I see the same people all the time.
Yep.
And it kills me to the people who can like go to the same place with the same people and just say the same joke
with one slight tweak or not even.
Yeah. I'm always like, how do you do it? Because like I would die. Like it feels horrible, and they don't laugh because they've heard everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this isn't constructive.
That's the thing is I don't know. Like I don't know if is forging your bit that much, getting that repetition in really good so that when you actually are on a show, it's fluid. Is that worth whatever emotional scarring happens around the bit when you do it 100 times and it bombs every fucking time? Like I don't know. I don't think there's an answer. It's just some people can work that shit and some people can't. But I think that's like one of my biggest problems is I do new stuff every week.
Yeah.
And then a show comes and I'm like, I have nothing. I have nothing consistent because I haven't run the same thing for more than a week.
Yeah.
And so it's like the balance of refinement. I mean, that's part of figuring it out, right? Like that's part of the early stages is like, what is my personal system for this thing? But it sounds like you're just trying out a different strategy, and that's good.
Yeah, because I used to write so much because I was so terrified on stage.
Yeah.
That I was not able to interact with people naturally or like come up with anything because I was so paralyzed by being scared.
Yeah.
That
you have to be in the room. And if you're in your head, and you're reading notes from when you were back writing, you're not in the room, you'll never have that emotional connection that you get and that you watch people who like go up and say nothing and
it's so funny.
So funny.
Because they connect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I didn't know how to connect for a long time. I would say the writing and reading a script kind of comedy works in a big room because you can't really talk to anybody when it's like a huge stage and they can't really see your face or whatever. You're just kind of like dancing or whatever. That if it's a big stage, then you can kind of get away with that. But if it's, a smaller place, normal bar, then you have to connect.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think learning that balance of like being able to read the room and figure out which room it is like is so. That's when you see really, really good comedians come up and just like exactly know where to start, and whether it's like I start by engaging or I just start by like getting into my stuff is like feeling. I don't know. Every time I've seen a comedian really, really killed, they just like nailed the pulse of the room. You know?
Yeah.
You kind of read the minds of,
like if something happened before, they address it immediately and they're like, oh, he's in the room with us. And then they'll go into whatever. Or if they need to like take over the room, they'll start by like calling on some people and then like wrangle it in and move forward. It's just like, I don't know. I think that's such a great skill that I do not have. So I'm always like very cognizant
you'll get
of it.
there.
Never.
You'll get there.
I refuse to get there.
How okay. How different is the experience when you go up presenting as a male versus presenting as female?
Oh my God. I when I transitioned, all my gay jokes were worthless.
Bummer.
I know.
I'll fucking take them.
I spent so many like months, years like working on the gay stuff, and then I transitioned and I couldn't talk from that perspective anymore.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, damn, I have to come up with a whole new set. And then now I've been more like dressing like a boy.
Yeah.
So now my trans shit doesn't work either. But unless I have like a qualifier, like, oh, I'm trans, I have to like go over it and catch people up. But it's kind of annoying.
Yeah. Well, I think the journey of what you're saying is funny in a way where you became trans and you're like, this is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like it's just easier to just present as male and be trans.
And suffer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Suffering is sometimes the simplest solution to just being able to scrape by.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Visually, I don't know. I think it's interesting how you can relate to people different. Like a girl's obviously when you're also a girl are more, they kind of like feel you more. They're like, oh yeah, we're the same. Whereas like it's the reverse if you're a guy. I don't know. I don't know how to say that.
The hardest you've ever killed as a man or as a woman? Which one was it? Come on, dude.
Come on, dude. I know we're both at the edge of our seat.
I think it's even.
Okay. All right. That actually kind of makes sense.
Fuck you and your diplomacy. Oh, that was such a
really escaped
that was such a girl answer.
I was hoping it was a man.
Dude, I was like, come on. It's so stupid how
really
stupid.
You hoped it was a man?
Tribal
yeah, just like as a guy, be like, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna
funny.
be like, I knew it. Girls have it easier. You
No,
know what I mean?
no,
Like, I was
not
like, oh,
in
girl.
comedy. Not in comedy. I think on roasts, it's hard. I think people identify more with women, but I think when people get on stage, there's frequently a thing because there's this narrative of like women aren't funny, and I think there's like a subconscious thing that happens when a lot of the times when women get on stage.
Yeah, I definitely feel like women have it tougher on stage.
Yeah, it's definitely harder to connect
Yeah.
like that, like that when you're talking to. I mean, that's the interesting thing, the drawback when I am dressed like a man and I'm talking to a woman, immediately defense is up.
Yeah.
You know, because women are very like cautious around men because they don't know what your intention is.
Yeah. And what's weird is that men don't understand this still. Like I have friends who are like big, bulky guys and they're like very nice guys.
Yeah.
And they approach women
But they're
being
scary.
overly nice. Or not overly nice, but just who they are, like nice guys, but they're massive, like, and women are like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, why?
They get their feelings hurt. Yeah.
But it's like, dude, you have to realize
you're a monster.
You're a monster.
you could strangle this person.
And it's throw them across the room.
Yeah.
And when you're nice even, that's not even good enough.
Yeah.
It's like there's plenty of guys who are real nice until they don't get what they want.
Yeah.
You know, so like you can't even trust that. So I get it, but it also sucks because you're like, no, like, come on, relax, you know, like I'm one of you, you know, but I get it. And then with guys, it's kind of similar. I don't know if I should say this, but
just don't use names.
No. Just like I don't know if this is true. I don't mean to brag.
Hell yeah, let's go.
But
Brag.
if I'm dressed like a woman, there is like a tension with guys where I feel like they're trying not to be attracted to me.
Yeah.
And like not think about it.
Yeah.
They're like trying to like stay in like keep cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how
You think
much
there's
of it
some
there is.
internalized transphobia where they feel bad for being attracted to you as a woman?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some of that.
But you're just saying like you can feel them fighting this thing.
that animal.
Yeah, I have that with women all the time.
Yeah.
You see how insecure I am? I had to specify with
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you know all the things that you've been told about like how creepy guys are, and you want to distance yourself from that, but you're also being dishonest because obviously you are a creep.
Yeah.
Like everyone is a creep. Everyone does the stare.
And I get it, like I've been a guy. I know how it feels, especially as a gay guy. You don't want to be that creepy gay guy that like always touches people. I hate that guy. I hate that guy.
Even in those communities, because I think when you have the closer levels of like at least the physical capabilities, like in the gay community, we don't consider that as a thing, right? Like a lot of the times we don't consider like the creepy gay guy to other gay guys because it's like, yeah, it's dudes. Yeah. But it's like, they're still there.
Well,
they're all there.
I mean, if it's another, okay. So if you're in a gay space and you're creepy, I think that's just saying hello. But like if you're going to a gay bar, expect to be assaulted.
I've had the experience.
Yeah. But I'm talking about like that creepy gay guy with straight men who's always trying to like push their buttons, see if they're attracted to them. Like, oh, have you ever tried it? Like blah blah blah. I hate that guy who like is so weird to guys. And then like maybe even like grabs whatever and they're like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You know what's fucked up is I think that's funny.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah. Is like that's because of the like equal physical.
Yeah, because if things really got bad, we would fight.
You'd have to rough it out.
Yeah,
but it's like that's not an option.
But it is kind of. But I do agree that it is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up, but it's just the reality of the situation.
You think it's funny? Are you friends with creepy guys like that who treat you like that?
The only situation that comes to my mind is it was like, I know this guy and he's more of a friend than he is, but I guess he was telling me, I guess he used to date like a Persian guy and he was like, oh, I love like brown hairy men. And I was like, cool. Like, whatever. It doesn't really bother me. Yeah. And then I was like sitting and he kind of rubbed his dick on my shoulder.
Fuck.
And that's where I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
but
it was
you
like,
can tell that story.
And you laughed because it was hilarious.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, dude, you gotta cut that out, dude.
Like whenever I have a man's dick on my shoulder, it's funny.
Yeah, yeah, but it was just like it doesn't it doesn't bother.
But
me.
It's like less of a traumatic thing because the potential, the possibility of that going very bad is less.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. If you were. I always talk about how when I was in high school or middle school, your hormones, you feel crazy, and being in the locker room, like imagine being surrounded by like gorgeous, like women in various states of undress.
Yeah.
And they're also like 6'5" and can beat you up. Like if you get a boner, they'll kill you.
Yeah, you're fucked.
So like had that stress.
Yeah. Dude, the betrayal of the penis. The penis betrays. The penis betrays.
The penis. Dude. The problem with it is that it tells no lies.
Yeah,
it doesn't possess the ability.
Well, it does tell lies though, because sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah. But that's why couldn't I get ED in middle school when I had
when you wanted it?
Yeah, when I was just rock hard from watching my like middle-aged teacher bend over.
Oh,
where was
no
the
one was
ED
safe.
then?
Yeah,
when I had to put my biology textbook over my
backpack, my front carrying my backpack after every class.
Why couldn't I get ED then? Why is it when I'm in front of this beautiful woman I love? Yeah, that's when it pops up.
Moment of silence.
But that's tough.
Thank you.
Dude, Rip. You know what I was thinking about? Have you guys seen Caleb Williams? He's like the USC quarterback who's like, I think he's bisexual.
Okay.
We're years away from like the best player in the NFL being bisexual or gay.
Yeah.
Like it's going to happen in like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, but by that time, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, you're probably
like
right.
if you're in the hyper-masculine sport and then you come out, if by the time that happens, no one gives a shit.
You think so?
I don't know. Aaron Rodgers had like a lot of like rumors about him because he was like living with his trainer for like a couple years. And so everybody was calling him Gay Rod and like it was always a joke. By
hey,
everyone,
Rod. Hey.
I would like to say by everyone, I mean me and my friends back in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And my dad was the one who told me about it because anytime he thought anybody was gay, he was like, you got to get clued into this.
Yeah.
My dad's
Gay-Rod?
gaydar. Yeah. My
That's
dad's
such a funny name.
gaydar was nondescript. Everyone was gay.
Yeah.
Because he just wanted everybody to be a part of his club.
Yeah.
So
he wanted to be able to smash A-Rod.
Wait,
Yeah,
he
you
was
were
gay?
yeah, my dad was gay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It
Was it always like that? Or
well, he came out when I was in like first or second grade.
wow.
And it just wasn't talked about. Like my parents split up and I didn't tell anybody because I knew I found out at an early age of like, this is going to be trouble if you're open about this. And he didn't like live around me after that much. And so I was able to compartmentalize things very easily.
Like you would go on retreat and be like, "Oh, I'm retreating to my
yeah,
dad's
like I was
house.
with him every other weekend.
Yeah.
People are like, "Oh, let's hang out." I'm like, "Oh, you know, it's dad time." But you know, I had close friends that knew, and then it just gets around. But people only ever talked about it behind my back, I'm pretty sure, and it never came up into my face.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to. I made a decision to not deal with it, which is now who gives a shit. But like when I was a kid, I was just too, and he wasn't like, you know, you got to be proud of. There's nothing wrong with this. You got to be proud about this. So I wonder sometimes how different my life would be if I had to face it on a daily basis, the way like a gay kid would, you know. But you know, what are you gonna do?
Interesting.
Yeah. But it was something I was conscientious of and made an active effort to distance myself from, which I think now that I'm older and a little bit more sensitive to it, I wish I would not have done.
Yeah.
Because it feels like cowardice.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
That
think,
makes sense.
I think it's always easier to say that in hindsight. I think, you know, being 13 is not easy in and of itself.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, I guess regret is the wrong word, but it's like,
Well, you
could have
had
stood
to
on business.
learn how to just be real.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah.
And like, you're like, yeah, it's just a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think like 2005 or whatever, 2008 is a lot different
Yeah,
than
very different.
2024.
But yeah, they couldn't even get married.
Yeah.
And you
Couldn't
said
adopt.
Wisconsin, where?
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was in Madison, Wisconsin, which is like a liberal hub. But outside of that, but even then, like people, they to your face don't care as much. I think in the background, maybe you'll get some jokes, so people say things, but I don't know. There's kind of a baseline humanity where if you're cool, people are usually they drop it.
Yeah.
But that's in my distance experience of it. I have no idea what it would have been like if I would have treated it differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Tough to know.
Yeah, and it's not really worth. It's just a reflection.
You
point.
trying to have kids?
Yeah.
Little Grants running around?
I'm going to have no. I was thinking about chopping my balls off.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I went and had a doctor's appointment about that 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And it was weird. The doctor, it was pretty weird.
Can we do like a Vikings funeral where we put them in like a small boat and shoot flaming arrows at them?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
What do you do with them?
I didn't get that far. The weird thing to me was that he kept trying to like push getting a vagina on to me. But I guess like thinking about it, like when other people think about it, they're like, oh well, why wouldn't you?
So time out. Are you going dong no balls?
I was thinking about
Very
getting
sensitive language there.
Thank you.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing. No, dude, because
That's the medical term.
Are you the doctor?
That's the medical term.
Is this who you went to see?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm the dong no balls doctor.
I'm actually here for a referral.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing too, is that you have them, so I feel like you can use that language.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
because like it was, if you were asking any other guy, that's what you would say. But I was thinking about, you can get these. You know, I know someone who had testicular cancer and he got like an implant, so
Yeah.
no one can really tell.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that. Obviously testicle anymore. He has one
Yeah.
normal and one.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about getting the same thing.
But why remove them if you're still aesthetically going to look the same?
Medicine, because every day I take medicine to fight against the testosterone.
Gotcha.
Oh.
And it's like such a hassle
Yeah.
to take that much medicine.
This
And
might-
I don't think it's good for me.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. So essentially, by removing them, there would be no
Much
testosterone.
less.
Much less.
Yeah.
Why not just cut the cords? Is that a possibility?
No. Because
Okay.
it's not I think they just kind of like make it, and then it just kind of like
It just
gets-
goes to your brain. It's like, fuck something.
It's not like vasectomy where like the sperm is cut off.
Yeah.
Because it's just a chemical and it kind of goes everywhere else.
Yeah. This is how I'm learning this. I'm so dumb.
Why? Because you're not a doctor
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, because you don't have.
Well, I'm just like, why don't you just cut the cords like sperm?
Yeah.
And then
yeah,
it
you're
solves
looking at
the
it like
problem.
it's a car battery.
Like
No, I mean,
me,
I wondered
jizz and
that too.
testosterone are the exact same thing. that's where I'm at.
that explains why gay guys are so buff. They're just always
They're doubling
juicing.
down.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not dumb because that's why I went to the appointment, is to ask that kind of questions. I was like, can I keep half a ball? Like I was just to have
it.
like a little bit,
Yeah.
just in case. And he was like, no, we can't do that.
Can you save them? Is that crazy?
I wanted to
ask?
take.
Dude, I don't know what's crazy to
I
ask.
would demand to keep them.
Keep them, yeah.
You know, but I don't think I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Or else I would probably like have like a jar situation,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
or make them into jewelry. Who knows what?
I would
And-
label that jar.
This guy that was pushing to get a vagina, were you like, why the fuck do you keep pushing this?
I imagine, I didn't ask why, I just kept saying no, but I imagine it's the same. My mom, when I told her I was trans, besides my parents are pretty conservative, besides their initial reaction, eventually my mom was talking about the sex change thing. She was like, oh, you're gonna get surgery? And I was like, no. And then she surprised me. She was like, you should get the surgery. Don't half-ass being a woman.
That's so funny.
She's like, follow through. I
Yeah.
thought I raised you to follow. I was like, Mom, I'm not like getting a surgery.
yeah.
Maybe your mom just wants to bond with you. Just be like, vaginas, huh? Whenever you get it. Just like,
But you know what it could still be is back to that thing you initially brought up of like they
Conforming.
conforming to the expectation.
Like how in I think Iran, if you're gay, they force you to transition medically, so then it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That's a big
would you do top
decision.
surgery?
No, I don't think so.
Damn.
I don't. Why?
I'm just kidding. I'm just,
because
that's just a
anything
dumb guy.
that's more boobs in the world is we're pro.
I don't like the idea of fake tits. I don't like judge anyone who has them, but like my opinion sexually of them is that it's like hard and unnatural, and like there's a scar.
You shut your goddamn mouth.
So I'm like,
Cool to see though.
because they can calcify too, and then they're like rocks. But I'm like, I don't want the scars, and I don't want them to be hard or unnatural. I just want whatever I get. I don't throw a fit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah. Have you? I don't know if this is talked about or if I should talk about it, but there's something about how like the economics even affects transitioning to where like there's people who transition and nobody knows that they've transitioned because they have the money to pay for all these surgeries. Is that something that's talked about in the trans community about like the there's even an economic what's it called, like disparity in how people transition.
I mean, there is for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I?
You're not rolling in it as a pair comic?
No, unfortunately, no. I'm an outlier in that sense. But I think part of the reason why I am dressing more masculine nowadays is because it was so much work to look feminine to get paid more. Yeah. So then I couldn't be over. But yeah, it was so much work to get there that I was like, if I just had the money to get the surgery, then I wouldn't have to do this every day, you know? And I don't. So I was like, well, for my own sanity, I think I will just, forego that for now. So because I did have so much pressure on me to look feminine, to like conform for safety kind of. And I was like, well, I guess I'll just like wait until I can afford it.
Okay.
And then it will be kind of more seamless. And I won't have, I'll be able to get out of the shower and get dressed, as opposed to like Hollywood level special effects makeup. You know what I mean? Like, like that's
something
a lot.
I think the trans community doesn't get enough is incredible makeup.
Yeah,
great job. One of my trans friends, the best hair I've ever seen in my entire life. She has fantastic hair.
This is the one who was telling you what products.
Yeah,
to
she
buy
was telling
for
me
your
what
hair.
products to buy for my hair, and I was like,
sure.
of course I'm going to listen to this person.
Yeah,
she has the most beautiful hair I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and it just is like aesthetically, like she's like beautiful, and it's just like she knows what's going on. She's put a lot of thought into her look, so why wouldn't I listen to this person?
Yeah, it takes a lot of thought to be a thought.
It's not easy.
Go off.
It's a lot. Even again, like I feel lucky, I guess, that I'm not like a giant scary man, because that would be rough, to transition. And I think I am able to kind of get away with looking feminine, but it is still like work.
Yeah it is a lot of work. Outside of comedy, what are you spending most of your time doing?
So I like to sing. I've been singing a lot since I was in high school. I sing around. I'm so cringe. I go to karaoke bars sober and alone, which is already wrong.
Oof.
That's what's
I've
nice
seen
about
these
this
creatures in the wild before.
Yeah, and people are like there to have fun, and I'm like focused, like sweating.
Yeah, you're there to put on a performance.
Yeah, just like ruining the vibe.
What are you singing at the karaoke bar?
I sing like a lot of really hard songs, like Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. Like I'm not here.
You're
to
showing
play.
off. You're showing off.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going for it. Okay. Yeah. It's like I'm doing. I don't know. I told myself, I was like, I can sing. I can do that. When I heard them singing, and that was a mistake. Because it's been like 15 years, and I can sing pretty good, but still not quite there.
Yeah, you're not Mariah Carey, one of the greatest singers of all time. Yeah,
but you can get better at it, which is not something that people like. I never thought about that. I thought it was like singing was like one of those things you just have.
Yeah,
but like, I guess you can go to voice coaches and stuff and like do exercise. It's like a muscle that you can. Do you ever do voice lessons or something like that?
No, but I just practiced like in a crazy person.
How do you practice? Like that's what I don't get. Is like, how do you practice? Is that what scales are?
Yeah, my brother used to make fun of me in high school because Mariah Carey actually. Yep. The reason why I started singing so much, I heard "All I Want for Christmas Is You," and I was like, "How the fuck does she do that with her voice?"
Yeah,
right.
And so I would be in there like, "All I want for Christmas," and my brother would be like, "Shut the fuck up!" It would drive him insane because I sound crazy.
Yeah, you sound like a studio producer,
just like a broken record,
remixing himself. Yeah.
So I would just do the same thing over and over and over. Yeah.
Well, I think that's what it takes to get good.
It's like comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to do the same shitty joke over and over and over and never change it.
You have to bomb.
And then tell other people it's wrong. Tell other people they're wrong for not liking your joke.
No, you have to realize that it's wrong, and then you have to try something different to make it better every single time. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's like that with singing, which is why, because singing took me like 15 years to get good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was like, oh, with stand-up, it'll take 15 years to get good too.
Yeah. And that's the sad reality that I feel like most people don't. I mean, it's not even like a sad reality. It's just the reality that most people forget, which I mean, myself am included in that, where it's like, oh man, nothing's happening. It's like, okay, well, you haven't been doing this that long. So you have to like stay the course.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Some people are freaks. And I think it's like I think it's like random kind of, where like each person's brain, it's like the pathway to the right technique. Mm-hmm. You have to build it and it takes however long, but it's also, there's a randomness to where you can sometimes just like land on the right technique.
Yeah.
And that those talented people who like do it right all since they were young or whatever, and that's great, but like I certainly had to work at it. My mom was definitely, she has like a beautiful voice, and her whole family was like musicians and recorded music. And me growing up, I like wanted to have a beautiful voice because I watched like Disney movies and I liked the princesses.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be like singing to the birds.
Yeah.
And then I would sing to my mom and she would just look at me like, you know,
like, oh, nasty.
Like, she's like a very honest woman.
Yeah.
And she could not hide the fact that I was not.
Your mom is so you said you're half Mexican?
Yeah.
Your mom is the Mexican side?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
She's the one who's like, no, it's bad. I heard it, it's bad, mijo.
Ethnic moms, man. They will not do any, like, hide the truth to preserve your feelings. They'll let you know.
Exactly. And I think sometimes that can be good. It's just, there's some balance in there that minority moms have not quite found yet. You know, it's just like, I think that's the generational difference, where it's like, okay, we're thankful that we got honesty, didn't need it 100% of the time.
Yeah, maybe pull it a little bit back.
Yeah, like you can, and when I'm in first grade and I made art, you don't have to tell me it's not good.
Yeah, I talk about on stage, I talk about this time I was in a tornado warning, you know, in Florida, and like you have to hide in this like the center of your house, away from windows and stuff, just in case the tornado comes in. So we're like hiding in this closet, and I'm like 5, and I asked my mom, like, Mommy, are we gonna die? And then she goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
So she's just very real. She's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
the most honest answer is I don't know.
And the joke is like, can you lie to me?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like, please. I'm 5.
Please, when you're under 6, you can tell as much. But you know, that's what's funny is like that comes with that line is so, because when I was 6, I would love that lie, but I also used to think that if I ate watermelon seeds, a watermelon would grow out of my throat.
Right.
I got both of those lies.
Okay.
One helpful, one I once swallowed
unhelpful lies, and then unhelpful truth.
Yeah, I remember I swallowed a watermelon seed and I started crying at a party.
That checks
which
out.
Is such a bummer of a kid to be around.
To be fair, my dad, he's the white one. He would lie about stuff too like that. Like he told me if I smelled pepper too close, I would never stop sneezing. Like I would just until I died, I would be sneezing.
Yeah. One I got was if you were driving by a graveyard, you had to hold your breath. Otherwise, spirits would come inside your body.
You would catch the death
and take. Yeah, you'd catch death.
I'm pretty sure I'm already terminal.
Immediately die. Yeah,
immediately. Dang.
No, it was like the spirits would take over you, and like a djinn would take over your body, which is creepy.
Yeah.
But then I remember one time we were driving by the graveyard, and we got stopped at a stoplight, and I started freaking out.
Because you had to breathe.
Because I had to breathe, dude. I couldn't hold my breath. My little 7-year-old lungs couldn't hold that long.
I think that's just what superstition is.
Yeah.
It's like things that are like you believe something,
and there's
but that's not true.
Some tiny part of it that makes sense. Just like a little bit of it that makes sense.
Like imagine there was a plague, there's a mass grave. Yeah. Like you should not be close to them because you might catch the plague.
Exactly.
So I guess in a way that there could be truth in it. Yeah.
And there's some dude, the ghost thing is, you know, there's something about whenever it's like every culture has this thing. There's some, you know, like every culture has its version of ghosts or like, you know, the dead still being around. So there's got to be just like there's something there.
Yeah.
You know? I think it's like, what is it when everyone agrees on something, even though it's like not true?
Universe. Wait.
Yeah, it's like a universal thing, right?
Wait,
like
even though it's not
the
true.
not true part.
even though it's not true. Like ghosts.
That's a superstition.
Okay.
Right? We're saying
That's
like
a superstition, but I guess the not true part is throwing me off. Like,
Yeah, there's something
mass
else.
delusion.
yeah, I guess what I'm saying is like we were talking
A
about
myth?
things we were told about when we were young that you like believe that just don't, you know, it's
Now
like
I'm
you
thinking
believe
like the
because you're young.
Mandela effect.
Yeah, where it's like
Yeah, that's like a misremembering, though, right?
Yeah.
But like, I mean, there's like, okay, so would this be an example of what you're talking about? Is I thought that if I
think your myth is right.
if you like, like an urban legend of like you eat a seed and you're gonna have a watermelon grow.
that's
in
exactly
your
what we're
ass.
talking about.
Yeah.
Mine
is
was
that what
out of
you're
my
talking
throat, but yeah.
Oh, I went the ass route, but yeah, yeah, okay.
Where it's like, okay, obviously the one we ended up talking about were like ghosts, right? Where I was told when I was little that if you're driving by a graveyard, you have to hold your breath.
Yeah,
Otherwise
you'll
it
suck
goes-
in the spirits.
And then it'll take over you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's myth. It's like how people think. I just read an article about how the idea that women sync their cycles in close proximity, their menstrual cycles sync up, that's a myth.
what?
Really?
No,
That's what the article said.
Dude,
okay.
So I don't know.
Really?
I still don't. I still
know-
kind of believe it.
I know women that believe it.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to me that it would be true, unless they've been lying so they can team up and be extra bitchy together.
This is what the MacBook is for. Let's see. I also had if I take LSD, I'll never be able to go to space because
What?
my spine, something about how it affects your cerebral spinal fluid will cause my spine to explode in space. This might be, I've told this to multiple people, not one person has ever been like, oh yeah, I heard that too.
I
don't know
I'm like, where did you hear
Where
this?
that came from.
BioShock 3.
But
Like, I'm
yeah.
like, how do you?
Great game. But it kept me from doing acid for most of my life. And I'm never going to go to space. I'm not fucking...
That's the thing. I was like, why would anyone be worried about this?
I don't know, because I'm... You know that there's the childish dreams that you have that despite all evidence, you'll never shake them, like
You're
being a
keeping
famous
them.
comedian. One of them is going to space for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a
You're
kid.
keeping the door open to the astronaut thing.
Eventually, there's going to be an economy flight to space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not far. I mean,
Yeah.
they were doing it. Remember when they were like, hey, we're going to send people to Mars on a one-way trip, and people were signing up for it?
My friend
Yeah.
was so excited about that.
What an insane thing to do.
People got that like contract or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know what's happened with it.
I'm not going until the guy who's sending people is going.
I don't want to be a hater, but my friend was so into the Mars mission, and I think people who are like so into like space colonization
Yeah.
are a little bit like they got things going on at home. Like you're kind of like looking out.
Yeah.
And maybe
the
you should
grass
look
is
within.
greener on the
You know
other
what I mean?
planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you hate yourself so much, you need to run away to Mars.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should do a little bit of introspection.
Why don't we get a
here.
little interterrestrial?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
We need to do some deep shadow work if we need to go to. Yeah, there's like this idea that if you can move someplace, you'll be a new person. I personally think I could be unhappy anywhere.
Wherever you go, there you are.
There you are.
Yeah.
But if you have to literally leave the planet, it's really not looking good. Also, to go to a place that is like the desert. Mars is not fun.
That's what I'm saying. It's also we have places here on Earth
Yeah.
where we can't go.
Yeah.
Or we haven't like colonized yet. Like
Yeah.
Antarctica. But I'm thinking baseline, if we're gonna do space travel, bottom of the ocean. Like the bottom of the ocean should have been colonized by the time we go to another planet because there's A, so much real estate.
Oh yeah.
And B, it's also no oxygen, like the same kind of conditions.
Yeah, but
you know?
we don't have to leave the fucking planet where all the resources are.
Yeah, like out in space, there's like pressure issues too. Like I'm like, if we can't even do our own planet, why are we?
Yeah, both situations. If the window cracks, we're fucking gone.
Dead.
We're
Yeah.
all dead as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you is, so you come from like your military family, and your mom she sings, but like, why comedy? What got you into comedy?
I just watched. I think the therapy answer is that I just so desperately want to become my parents.
Okay.
Because I always kind of like rebelled against them about everything. But then my mom is a singer and my dad's like really funny.
Mm.
And then they both work for the government.
Mm-hmm.
So I, devoted my life to singing and comedy. And then I'm also like considering joining the government.
Oh, okay. Are you going to enlist?
I won't enlist quite.
Okay.
But I was thinking about taking, the foreign service exam.
Uh-huh.
And then you get to work at an embassy kind of abroad. I thought that would be cool. They teach you languages so you can go out.
What embassy would you top number one?
Oh gosh.
You go to Iran, get free
Free healthcare.
a little free bottom surgery.
I think somewhere like
Somewhere warm. I feel like you were about to say somewhere warm.
I was gonna say somewhere weird. Like somewhere that you don't even think about. Like I memerized all the countries.
Oh, okay.
And there's like little ones that people don't know about. Like
like Mauritania or something.
Yeah.
Something like, isn't that a country?
That's not very little.
Is it not? I have no idea what it looks like.
It's like a big country in Africa.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn,
but there's
I did not know that was a real place. I'm going to be honest.
There's a small island nation called Mauritius.
That's what I meant.
Mauritius.
That is, in the like Indian Ocean, I think.
Yeah.
And so some place like that where you like, it's like a random place you never heard of.
Is Cyprus a country or is that?
Yes.
Cyprus would be a cool one, right? Small.
Yes, it
island.
would. It's also like in the middle of the Caribbean. I feel like such a nerd.
No, it's cool, but I just don't. Why? You're saying Cyprus would be a cool
Caribbean,
place.
Mediterranean. Sorry.
Cyprus would be a cool place. Why?
Oh, I don't know, because he said that there was like something.
Because it's like in the I read like the Encyclopedia Britannica article about it, and it was like it's like the crossroads of the Mediterranean Sea, where like people from like Turkey and Israel and Greece were all kind of going through that. It's that island where they would kind of stop on their sea travel.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So there's like a lot of history.
There's a lot of it's
transnationalism.
Like a melting pot.
Yeah.
I have a friend and her dad works in government and used to live in all these different foreign countries. And she's like, "Oh, you would love my dad. I hope you meet my dad one day. He speaks Urdu." And I was like, "Your white dad speaks Urdu?" I'm like, that guy is up to no good.
Checks out.
I don't know what he did in my home country, but it was not positive.
Yeah, it was mischievous at best.
He's to blame.
Yeah.
It's so funny. She's like, "Oh yeah, like it'd be cool because then he can finally speak some Urdu." He lived in Pakistan for like 7 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm like, your dad is
That's
a
so
spy.
annoying.
He's a spy.
It's like that random guy who is like, "Oh, I can finally use it," like they're like waiting for a chance. And you're like, you don't even need to know this.
Yeah. It's like, have you ever seen the YouTube videos of like the white guys speaking like Chinese?
I love those YouTube.
Yeah.
I love watching the Chinese people's faces. They go, "Oh,
yeah."
But it's cool. It's
It
like
is
a cool connection thing. Like, why do you speak our dialect?
It's so cool.
It's great I love the reaction.
Yeah.
People are shook.
I love the reaction,
The smile.
but I something about me loathes the guy who's like, "Look at what I'm doing."
Yeah.
It's so cocky. It's so cocky. To like that deception where he's like, "Oh, I don't know," and then full fluency. And then to be like, "Oh, Chinese person shocked," like, well, yeah, because you're just like putting on a masquerade, right? So like, of course they're gonna be shocked.
Yeah, and they always dress extra white when they do it.
I think that might just be what that guys that look like that. Yeah,
guys that know that much Chinese.
If you're a polyglot, you're a nerdy person.
Yeah,
they're like clueless white guy shocks local Chinese people with fluent Chinese. He's lived in China for like 8 years before this.
These people are just like trying to take his order. He's like reciting like a fucking paragraph just to order.
But it's so cool, like to be able to, I don't know, like language, to get to do that, to share that with someone.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of it because I took 85 semesters of Spanish. And I can order tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, a little. Same deal.
Oh, okay. But your parents didn't teach you?
No, they used Spanish as like a code language where we wouldn't know what they were saying.
That's so fucking annoying.
It's a dick move.
It's such a dick move because it's like they could have taught you a very useful whole other language at the time when you are most able to learn it and gain true fluency.
Yeah. Like I'm kind of default bilingual because of that. Like I haven't practiced Urdu in years, but I still like if you give me 2 weeks in Pakistan, I'd be pretty good.
Yeah, it's such a cool skill to have. And then, but I don't know, my parents, there is kind of like a mentality among like some immigrant families where they're like, no, like you're American. And I think my family is kind of like that, where they're like, you're going to be white and you're going to speak English like an American. And I didn't really grow up with a lot of like Mexican culture. Some, but not
I mean, I think it's hard. I think it's hard to not get whitewashed whenever you live in like a predominantly white area.
Yeah, and I think too, my mom, who was the kid of a Mexican immigrant, she felt like pressure because she was an LA girl.
Yeah.
And then like the expectation to be like a good Mexican wife. That's not her.
Interesting.
To like get pregnant and cook dinner. That's what she ended up doing. But but to
she
like
didn't like it.
not speak her mind, you know, like serve the men. That was not something that my mom was ever gonna do.
That you're saying that was, but that is traditionally what like a Mexican housewife is doing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So like,
gotcha.
Like if a man, the man comes home from work, like you're like his servant.
Yeah.
You like clean, cook, and then like my dad tried this thing because he grew up in Central America, and so he tried to see like how Latina she was when they were dating, and they were like hanging out, I guess, and then he goes, "Trágame agua," which means like, "Get me water, bitch," basically.
Wow.
And she was like, "You can get it your damn self." Like she was pissed.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "You're American." You know?
Hey, that's a good stamp for America.
Yeah.
On that one.
Women, finally. About time.
But it makes sense if she rejects that part of the culture, then just integrate into the one that she likes more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found the answer for women sink.
Okay.
If you want to know. No. There's no medical evidence.
No motherfucking way.
The theory is called the McClintock effect and was proposed by Martha McClintock as a theory to explain her personal experiences of women who lived in close quarters. Scientifically and medically, there is no conclusive evidence yet of this, nor any evidence as to cause for this. No, alpha males don't release pheromones that make all women around them change over their cycle. So...
I hadn't heard that branch.
I do like that. I do like that thought though. Like there's an alpha female who's like, "You guys get on my cycle.
That's cool.
You guys be mean when I'm being mean."
Yeah.
Maybe it's kind of a voluntary thing. They see the alpha woman becoming mean. They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do that too."
They're like, "Oh, I'm on my cycle too." You know, like if they're like pressured.
Trying to fit in.
Yeah.
There's strength in numbers. So if you're doing it together, I think you can take more power. So maybe it's like a social thing.
So embarrassing to get caught in that situation, though.
Which one?
You said it was last week.
There's kind of, I think I heard someone like a joke, a comic said where she was like, that's the gag about being on your period is that you can just say you are.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to be able to like prove you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're gonna just be like, "Oh, sorry," whatever.
Oh, it's like a little backup plan if you find yourself being a little bit more bitchy than you normally would be.
Sorry, last night I wasn't too drunk and being an asshole. I was just on my period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're not gonna like check your rag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Show me.
I wish I had that.
Yeah,
because I was just a drunk, shitty asshole. Damn it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Do you have comedy influences, like people you grew up watching?
No, I actually didn't know about stand-up comedy until I was like in college.
Oh, really? Who was your first?
My first was Amy Schumer. Yep.
Yeah, we're big fans over here.
Yeah.
I saw Amy Schumer in like 2014 at the Cellar when she was like before all the writing scandal stuff, and she fucking murdered, and she was very funny.
Yeah.
Well, her first special, I do think is funny.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Since then, I can't say much.
Yeah, I think she just. I haven't heard her recent. I heard like the one where she was pregnant.
Yeah.
I started watching but couldn't finish. I think whenever it's like a comedian who has been like in the game for like 10 years, then they're really good. They're at their prime. And then people discover them because they're really good. And then once they get discovered, they have money and they lose that, you know? And it's also whatever, recency bias. I don't know how to say it, but like if you've been working on your act for 10 years, nobody knows. That act has been 10 years in the making.
Yeah. It takes 10 years for your first special and then you have to do it again in 1 year.
And then, that's insane.
It is crazy.
So even like the most talented comedian to have to like churn out specials like that once you do have that time in the spotlight.
Yeah. I think you find out a lot about a comedian during their second special. And then I think it's, you can't expect it to be their best, right? Because the first one comes out, bang, you got your deal. Now you got to make the next one in like a year or two. It's got to be good though.
I'm pretty sure it becomes just for the money. Because like if I were to do it just for like the comedy, then I would like release my first special, take the money and run kind of. And then be like, all right, I'm going to be gone for another 10 years because that's how long it took me to get this amazing special.
Yeah. I think it fluctuates where it's like they start out for the love of it, get the money, and then they come back to the love of it. I think that's what you see with a lot of comedians who it's like
when they're much older.
Yeah. Where it's like they start out hustling and then they get their big deal, whatever it is, Netflix, TV deal, whatever. And that's the money part.
They kind of drift away comedically.
Or they're just churning stuff out and it can't be as good as it was before, you know?
Yeah.
And they might lose touch because they're just like in a studio with writers all day and like living a very lavish life. And then eventually they get to like kind of step away and be like, okay, now I can take time to come back and like figure out where I want to do. Because I mean, money is nice because it affords you the ability to be artistic.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, but I don't know. It also cuts you off from like a big portion of society.
Yeah.
A certain amount of money.
Yeah. That's very true.
When it comes to stand up, that's rough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I know any comedians who have really like maintained that.
Yeah. I like Andre 3000's approach to why he stopped making rap music is like, he was like, I'm not cool anymore. He was like, I was young and I was cool and we were having fun, but now it's not my job to be cool anymore.
Self-aware king.
Yeah, but every time he's had these little features throughout the past few years on like a Frank Ocean album, some other things where it's like he does like a little feature and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
But that's
that could be why.
Yeah.
But that fucking weird electronic flute bongo album I was not into, dude.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the concept.
Yeah.
It's just Andre 3000 is one of the best rappers ever.
I mean, yeah, he's musically incredible.
Yeah. And so it's so hard to like, the thing about stand-up that you're saying is like it takes 10 years to get that first out. It's so hard to get that first thing. But then once you have it, that's where it's hard for me to conceptualize not doing the thing that you just got so good at.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it does take so long to find that act, especially an hour that's just through and through good, because it's just a guy fucking talking at the end of the day. And like we think that that's what you should do because like Louis and Carlin kind of ruined that of like, oh, you should do a new special every year.
Yeah.
And most people should not.
Yeah.
No. I don't even know if they should have.
I don't know. I think Louis kept the tempo up pretty good. He's just one of those people that can do it. I don't know about Carlin. I haven't watched enough of his stuff.
It might be a generational thing. I kind of struggled with at least like the more recent ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, the Louis thing? Or Carlin?
Yeah.
I've never gone through his discography, but that's the first comic I ever listened to was Carlin or Murphy. I don't remember which order, but I just remember thinking it was so goddamn funny.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he's nailing this on the head. And it was just his airport bits. And I was like 7 years old.
You had never heard anything like it.
I had just flown. And I was like, oh my God, they did do that.
Yeah.
They did ask, did you leave your luggage out overnight? Like,
yeah.
You know,
it's a timing thing almost for you.
Yeah. It was just like so incredible. He was like nailing everything that I had just gone through and like in a funny way. It's very good.
My favorite comedian is Yamaneika Saunders.
She's so funny.
I want to see her live.
Dude, I saw her. Wait, have you seen her live?
Yeah.
Where'd you see her?
Brought the house down. I saw her at Village Underground.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I saw her at the benefit, the Patrice O'Neill benefit, maybe 2 years ago.
Whoa.
And she stole the show.
That's pretty cool how you went to that.
Yeah, I went to it. I bought 2 tickets. I took a girl on a date there and she fell asleep during the show. She was like,
what?
She was working as a doctor, to be fair. And she was like, dude, I just
okay.
pulled an all-nighter. I'm really tired, but
Yeah.
I'll still go. And I was like, cool, whatever. She fell asleep. I'm having the time of my life. The Mateo Lane opens.
He's a fucking murderer.
Yeah.
Mateo Lane performed. Bill Burr was headlining, which is why I bought the tickets. Chris DiStefano went up. Yamaneika Saunders. So those 2 go up, and then Yamaneika Saunders comes up and fucking stole the show.
She destroys.
She was so funny. This entire place is rocking, and then Burr comes out and does good, does great. And then it was Dave Attell's birthday, I guess. And he just showed up, and they're like, yo, Dave Attell's here. We're going to give him some time. So then he came and did it too, and then that was the end of the show. And
That's a great show.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good. But that was the first time I had actually heard of her. And she fucking murdered.
Yeah, I haven't. Does she have like an album out?
She does. I think it's called Damsel in Distress. I'll listen to it every once in a while on Spotify. It's great. She also I'll like re-listen to her. She has YouTube videos of her like at the Cellar, and then one from Comedy Central, I think, where she has like pink hair, and then the Cellar ones. I like know all of her content.
Yeah.
Because I've like exhausted it.
Right.
Yeah.
Where like I wish she had more out, you know?
Did you see the recent what's the word for controversy that she was going through?
With Marina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, do you want to explain it?
Basically, I think Marina Franklin accused Yamaneika of stealing a joke or something, and then Yamaneika, I think the gag was, the gay part comes out, was that Yamaneika had, like, the joke Marina said was about her friend who called her a black Karen, and Yamaneika was the friend. She's the one who, like, invented that and was the subject of Marina's joke. And then I think Yamaneika referenced, you know, that as well on stage. And then Marina said that she like made fun of her. That's what I understood from like 5 minutes of barely seeing it on social media. So I have no clue.
I didn't dive in.
I can't talk on it.
But at the surface, I was like, it seems like both of you guys talked about something and both of you made jokes about it.
Yeah, I highly, well, first of all, Yamaneika, my queen, no way she would need to steal anything. Marina has like some great jokes that I love, but Yamaneika does not need to steal anything. And I have heard, I don't want to, you know, roast anyone, but I have heard of people having like maybe not so great interactions with, you know, Miss Franklin.
Nice. Nice. We're going controversy.
Getting kind of legal at the end.
So I can't talk on it, but I guess I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I didn't have any opinion other than like I saw this and they were like, well, I'm the friend that you're mentioning and you made a joke about it. And it's just like, it seems like something happened in a conversation between both of you and now you both have jokes about it. That should be allowed.
That's being a comedian.
I mean, it's just like if Grant and I have a conversation, I don't think that subject matter, or like if we came up, okay, just say me and him came up with Black Karen for whatever reason, I don't think that means only one of us can talk about it. I think it's fair to be
but we would do the thing, you know, kind of agreed upon thing of like, hey, I'm writing a bit about this. What do you think about it?
Yeah.
It is hard too, because yes and no, I think. Like, yes, if, you know, both of you were there at 9/11 and now you have 9/11 jokes. Yeah.
I was not there. Grant,
I say looking
Grant
at
has
you.
not.
Yeah.
Grant has not denied it yet, but I wouldn't.
I was in the city for a different reason. I happened to be around Tower 7, but that has nothing to do.
So sorry, triggered.
No,
I'm sure you've been denying the allegations forever.
I was in the 5th grade. My mom did check me out of class that day. Pretty good time, dude. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you were.
I was gonna say this is random, but my dad sent me a video of me as a kid in New York the other day, and it was in front of the Twin Towers, and I'm just like outside, like, hey, can we go to the Statue of Liberty, like kind of stuff. And damn, dude,
you guys got to Spider-Man those out of there.
Yeah,
you gotta, yeah,
CGI them out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. That was the. Oh, we also like to ask, what are your goals comedically?
Oh, wow. Comedically, don't have it. No, I would like to do a special. I don't know. I have this like vision of me doing an hour special transition, and it's called Florida Man. I don't know why.
Oh, that's funny.
But I just think because I lived in Florida and I'm like trans, I think it would be funny.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that is funny. So a special. Do you picture producing that yourself in the upcoming years, or do you think that's like a 10-year thing?
10-year thing.
Gotcha.
I even with singing, like I've been singing forever, and I can sing some really hard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been the kind of person to have the confidence to be like, I deserve, like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty harsh on myself, and I'm like, I don't deserve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not perfect.
I'm kind of with you on that, but I do love seeing my friends put things out.
Yeah.
So I kind of have this weird balance where it's like, I definitely don't think I'm there yet, but anytime I see one of my peers put something out, I'm like, that guy rocks.
Maybe you are. Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah. An hour is a long time though.
Yeah. And I'm certainly not an hour.
No. What about you?
I still don't have 5. Like, I still don't have a 5 where I'm like, this is my 5.
You know what's so funny is, I think your 5 is going to change. Whatever. But
that's another thing that's hard to imagine is like having an hour. Like we say, it takes you 10 years to build an hour, but it's not the hour it's not the time you're starting out with is the same time that you're putting into that hour. It's just the development of getting to that thing.
Yeah. And like developing some way to portray yourself throughout this hour. I think I change who I am on stage often. Like sometimes I'm like upbeat and happy, and sometimes I'm just like very like low.
You just have different moods.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's talking about
I'm like thinking
discovers emotions.
I'm a person. But I don't know. It's something I think about often. Grant, anything before we have to start wrapping up?
Plug it up.
Jay, you want to tell people where we can find you?
My Instagram is biological drag queen.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to roast myself. I don't have anything like going on, like a podcast or anything.
But we can find you at the Pair on weekends,
Pair shows,
weekdays, sometimes.
Yeah,
6 p.m. today.
You can find me at a local karaoke bar. Doing way too much.
Yeah, perfect. Grant?
Perfect. Pog of War on Instagram, Ludwig von Poop on Twitter. Hit me up. No shows coming up, baby. It's a stinky month I have ahead of me. But I'm using that time to recenter myself.
Lovely.
Definitely.
Rediscover my love for stand-up comedy.
Okay.
Lovely.
Or I'm quitting.
You can find me at humz.ah on Instagram or TikTok. You can see me in Alaska. If you so happen to listen to this and you live in Alaska this weekend, I'll be in Anchorage for some comedy festival that I signed up for in Alaska. But that's dope. It for today. We love you guys. Please listen to us every week, Sundays 11 to 1. This is Radio Free Brooklyn. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Jay Elliot.
Thank you.
Major, minor, still